or visit us on the web at superiораluminumdesign.com.
Hi, my name is Dr. Erica Olstein with A Better You Healthcare Acupuncture and Eastern Medicine. As primary care physicians, we use acupuncture to treat back pain, arthritis, migraines, allergies, high blood pressure, thyroid disorders, hormone imbalances, stress, and more using all natural medical therapies. We treat the source of your problems, not just your symptoms. For more information, go to abetteryouhealthcare.com or call today to set up your appointment. 352-615-5566.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
1370 WOCA.
All right, 25 minutes before 8 o'clock, 53 degrees here at the Source, WOCA, broadcasting live from the Paddock Mall just outside the WOCA commissary. This morning when I got here, still dark. Still dark, of course.
Yeah.
And there were at least two flatbed tow trucks out in the parking lot.
Oh, my gosh.
At least two law enforcement vehicles. I couldn't tell if they were highway patrol, sheriff's cars, police cars. There must have been something. Must have been a wreck in the parking lot at nighttime.
Yeah.
I don't know if somebody hit somebody else or if they hit one of the light poles. I'll have to find out.
Yeah.
This is just unusual to drive. Sometimes I come in here early in the morning. It's like, wow, there is so much activity.
Yeah, I know. It's
when this is gonna happen this month too.
Yep.
Right?
We can't tell until Thursday.
Oh, we can't tell?
No, Thursday is the day that we can release the information. It's embargoed until then.
Okay.
We have it. It's ready to go.
Well, don't say any more because we're kind of saying it by not saying it.
I know.
Well, I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest. I just know what we did last year.
Yeah.
Really? So I can't. Okay. But I remember there was a long line last year.
Yes, there was.
And I remember people were here early.
That's right.
Really? See, I didn't even know I was stepping on toes. But see, I can plead innocent here, or ignorance.
Yes, you can.
I can plead ignorance, which is not unusual for me.
Yes, you can. I've got it hanging up in the office on the wall. It will come down on Thursday morning.
Good morning. You're on the air. Please don't tell on me.
I have a guess on what's going to happen Thursday.
Uh-oh. Did you get the note? You're supposed to embargo this information.
Well, no, I don't have any inside information. I just figured Joe violated the code of conduct for the mall by his constant auga.
I do think you're right. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right, before we talk about Ben Carson, what else did I want to bring up? Anything? Are there any... What do you call it?
No.
Ribbon cuttings?
No ribbon cuttings till next Tuesday.
Okay. Well,
so far.
All right. Well, let's just jump right into it. Today is election day. I think you know this already. I have not voted yet. I will vote today. And let's see. What do I want to tell you? The governor's race here in the state of Florida is interesting. I don't know. I mean, tomorrow, you know what they do? They make my job real easy the day after Election Day.
Yeah.
I mean, all my news is pretty much written.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
On Election Day, just whatever happens.
Yeah.
And I love election news. You know why? Because I would rather tell you who won, who lost, and how many people showed up at the polls than report that somebody got killed in a crash or was beheaded or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's disgusting.
I would much rather give you that news. And whoever wins, we respect the office of whoever is holding that office or whatever.
Yep.
Although, and that's a great way to dovetail into what we want to talk about. The polls in general, and I don't know, what I don't understand about the polls, what was the number? It was like 700 or there wasn't that many people actually called.
Yeah.
So they make this blanket statement based on 178 people that was called?
It was very, very few. It was very few.
Let's see. I have it right here. 817. 817. Mm-hmm. The poll shows, and this is just the governor's thing here in Florida, the poll shows among those who already have voted, Christ gets 44% to Scott's 40% of those who have already voted. Mm-hmm. Quinnipiac University surveyed 817 likely voters. Well, if they already voted, Well, they're not likely.
Yeah.
They voted.
That's right, exactly.
So what are you telling us? You're not really sure if they even voted?
Yeah, right.
But still, 817, and we're supposed to take that as a sampling and understand what the whole state is going to do.
Yeah, that is nuts.
I know there's some kind of logic to that. I'm not denying the logic of it, but still, isn't that a small number? Shouldn't it be more like at least 2,000 people?
At least.
At least 2,000. I don't know. So anyway, the general consensus of these poll takers and analysts and all this around the country is that Republicans are going to do very, very well today. Mm-hmm. Okay. And they are, well, depending on who you talk to, trying to figure out why. Well, Ben Carson has some thoughts as to why, if indeed this is what unfolds. And Ben Carson is not a politician. He's a doctor, although a lot of people want him to throw his hat into the ring to be a president. And he's hinted at it himself. But anyway, so I have some sound bites from him. This is from a newscast that I got off of the internet. And in this first news bite, he's talking about how people are realizing that Americans are supposed to tell the government what to do.
Exactly.
Not the other way around. And people are finally getting that.
Thank God.
Here we go.
People realize, or at least they should realize, that America was designed in such a way that the government would conform to the will of the people, not the other way around. We have exactly the opposite now. The government says, this is what you should do. This is what you must eat. This is the health care plan that we designed for you. And, forget about what the people think. And I think, some of the people are just starting to say, we're not buying it.
So hear what he said there. If you could, hopefully the sound audio quality wasn't so bad that you couldn't understand it. But he says the government is telling people what to eat.
That's right, they are.
And that is literally true. That is
true.
Literally true. I mean, look at that law that they passed in New York with the large sodas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the poster child, example.
And the food at the schools.
Of that.
Michelle Obama's campaign and how to exercise.
Well, yes, and what's a good lunch to send with your child? Remember there was that one story that they brought the child in and told him he couldn't eat what his mother gave him or something like that? Holy mackerel.
Exactly, that is totally insane.
That is not the way this country's supposed to work, and that's the way some people were allowing it to work. And I think Ben Carson's point is that we, the people, and I will say that the other radio show listeners.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'll say this over and over again. I don't need this listening audience to even hear this talk right now. Because this listening audience already gets this. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the other ones. The ones who are excited or disappointed that Taylor Swift took her songs off of Spotify.
That's right. Exactly. Well,
I love Taylor Swift's music, and I love Spotify.
Exactly.
But I think that the listening audiences typically are more likely to already get this point if you're a talk station listener.
Exactly.
All right. Let me take a phone call. Then I have a couple more sound bites. Do I have time for this phone? Yeah. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning. I'm going to vote for Beavis or Butthead.
Are you?
Today.
Yeah.
Well, that's my nicknames for those two guys. But I'm going to stay with my party because, what else am I going to do? Anyway, I wanted to ask you guys, you may have mentioned it when it was a newer item, but have you two folks seen Dinesh D'Souza's America film?
I don't know. Is that the one with the Statue of Liberty on the cover?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have it on my desk.
You've not seen it?
I have not seen it yet, no.
But you have it on your desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must see it. It's about an hour and a half, and it really, it points out the arguments against laying the guilt on America and all that. We all know the American Indian thing, slavery, et cetera, et cetera. But it shows that, these are not unique things that have happened only in America, and only in America have we addressed them with some sense of justice, and only in America are we living by an idea of liberty and individual freedom. So it's really great. You got to watch it. Just wanted to give you all a little heads up on that one.
I did know that in advance, and I appreciate you reminding me to watch that thing. But thank you for that.
I think watched it yesterday myself.
Oh, okay. What's interesting about that film, by the way, is that if you look on whoever they rate these things, the critics, the professional critics, gave it like half of a star or less. The viewers, the average person who viewed it, like gave it 5. It's like unbelievable. Like the people totally disagree with the professional critics. It is amazing to see the difference. And what does that tell you? That tells you that the people are, exactly as Ben Carson says, are waking up. And are starting to see this is the way it should be. Yeah. Well, they don't want to be forced to eat certain foods. All right, I got to thank you for the call. I appreciate that. Let's push forward, and we've got, what do we have?
We got weather.
Weather.
And commercials.
Something. We got something coming.
And then we'll be back.
And then we'll be back. I got to push some buttons.
That's
here.
right.
All right.
Here we are.
All right, we'll be back. This is The Source, WOCA.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Sunny to partly cloudy and beautiful today with a high of 77 to 81. Partly cloudy tonight. There may be a shower in spots near the coast later tonight. Lows ranging from the upper 50s inland near 70 along the coast. Tomorrow, sunshine mixed with clouds, high 80 to 84. On Thursday, times of clouds and sun and warm. There may be a morning shower along the coast, the high 81 to 85. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
News Talk 1370. WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370 WOCA.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
All right, 12 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Did you see the story about the police having to handle a small disturbance in the streets of New York? Did you see this?
No, did not.
The vendor was selling Italian ices.
Uh-huh.
And he's got that Italian accent. He's Italian ices. Did you see this?
No, I didn't.
And so this guy comes up to him and he says, "It's not ISIS. It's ISIS." What do you mean it's ISIS? It's ISIS. Italian. He says, no. You're saying ISIS. These are the people who are cutting off heads. What do you mean tossing of heads? I'm talking like a German. He was Italian. I'm sorry, I can't do the good accent. We got to get Joe in here for this one. But did you see the story? Can you believe it? So there was a guy on the street. He was yelling at the vendor, and then the shop owner who let the vendor stand outside his store, he came out. He said, "Leave him alone, leave him alone." So all of a sudden, they're trying to explain to the guy, but their voices are raised.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can ever get loud in New York City. With all the traffic.
Yeah.
And I guess a policeman thought maybe something was going down, so he had to stop, and that's how it became a news story.
Uh-huh.
So he's saying, isn't it the funniest story? Italian ISIS? I can imagine that poor Italian guy.
Yeah.
It's Italian ISIS. I am saying ISIS. No, you're not. You're saying ISIS.
Yeah, for the terrorist guys.
Well, what should I say?
Yeah.
It's ISIS.
Uh-huh.
Not ISIS. It's ISIS, not ISIS. Can you imagine what this scene was like?
Oh, that must have been horrible.
Somebody's got to have a video on YouTube with this one.
So forget about the plural. Just say Italian ice. Can you get away with that?
You know, somebody should have thought of that. Where were you?
You don't need
You
a
were here in
plural.
Ocala. You needed to be there. Somebody needed to make a phone call to you. Hey, Robin, we got a problem here. This guy says it's ISIS. This guy says it's ISIS.
Yeah.
ISIS and ISIS.
Yes.
You know, I have a suggestion for you. Call Robin. 1-800-ASK-ROBIN. She will tell you. Singularize it. Don't plural. All right. Sorry, we went out of change for that. All right, Ben Carson. Today is election day, and he says the reason we are going to see a change in the Guard up in Washington, D.C., he believes that the Senate will be majority of Republicans after today, is because Americans are once again beginning to think for themselves. Here's the soundbite where he says that.
There are a lot of people who actually are starting to think for themselves, and rather than just listening to rhetoric and somebody saying, "Oh, this is great, yeah, the economy's great," and they're looking out there, they're saying, "So where's all these good jobs that they're talking about? What's all this good stuff they're saying? How come I'm not feeling it?" And so some people are actually starting to think for themselves rather than just listening and being manipulated. And I think that's going to be the salvation of our nation. People, Americans, thinking like Americans, not thinking like Democrats, not thinking like Republicans, but thinking like Americans.
And you know what happens too is when you have somebody offering you a deal, right? And you say, it sounds like a good deal. All right, I'm in. And now all of a sudden you're getting a bill for this and a bill for that, and all of a sudden you're realizing, gosh, I was for this before, but now I'm against this. Mm-hmm. I wish I had seen it this way before I signed the dotted line.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what happened in a lot of ways with the Affordable Care Act. The idea of making affordable health care is a wonderful idea. But the idea of doing it and kind of misrepresenting what it's going to be to the people. Because because right now you have, what was the story we heard the other day? The lady who had to pay a $100 a month. She was subsidized to the tune of $400 a month. Mm-hmm. So her health insurance was $500 a month. Mm-hmm. 100 of which is being paid by her. Mm-hmm. The new numbers are coming out, and now it's $200.
Yep, of course.
So now she's going to pay $200. It was hard for her to pay the $100, but she said, finally I have health insurance. Mm-hmm. So now she pays $200, and the subsidy is $350, I think. Mm-hmm. Something like that. So somehow the total cost went up. And then you have the complaints from the people who are now paying more for some of their prescriptions that before they weren't paying for, or they were paying very little for.
Ronnie's went up $500 a month for his prescriptions, and
Holy
$300
mackerel.
for his
how much
premium. $500 every 3 months for his prescriptions, and $300 every month for his premium. He kept his insurance because of Obamacare.
Wow,
that figure went up.
Wow, and he's one example.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow. So so when Ben Carson says people are once again thinking for themselves, well, they had no choice.
Yeah.
It's kind of like being shaken down by somebody, and the guy in the card game on the corner. Where it looks good, and your friends try to tell you, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Now you've done it.
Right.
Now you go to the next card game guy and you say, forget it. I'm thinking for myself from now on. I'm not doing this.
Exactly.
Well, because you learned your lesson, yet you were burned.
Yeah.
All right. The other thing I wanted to play a soundbite from Ben Carson saying is regarding the need for voter ID. He points out that voter identification cards are used in countries that are pretty much one race. There's a lot of countries in Africa that are pretty much all black. There are a lot of countries in South America that are pretty much all Hispanic, I guess you would say, right? And they all require they all require a voter ID card. So in this country, when we have a multiple, and again, I love what the caller said before the break. The caller pointed out that, yes, the whole world, all of humanity has been guilty of the same mistakes. America is not alone in whether it's slavery or genocide or anything. The whole world has been, all of humanity. And all of humanity has slowly but surely started to wake up and realize the error of our ways. But nobody has tackled it better than America. Nobody has first of all, confessed to the fact that we've been doing this, and then tried to make amends for doing it, and then tried to go from this point forward. You can't undo history, and whatever happened. But in this country, we have learned. We sit by a window here in the Paddock Mall where you see people of all different races living and working together.
Right.
Sometimes families that are obviously more than one race.
Yeah.
And it is the Martin Luther King Jr. dream. Just because you want somebody to use a voter ID card, I can't understand how that is an example of racism.
Yeah,
I honestly don't get it. And if you know me, you know that I'm honest with this. I'm not trying to say something for the sake of saying it. But anyway, so here's Ben Carson talking about voter ID and answering the question, is it racist?
I conducted my own personal survey, every country that I've gone to in recent years, to find out what do they do to prevent voter fraud. And every single one of them has some kind of voter ID. And it's a national voter ID. So if they all have them, many of them are not countries that are diverse. They're countries that are in Africa or in South America, India. And if they all require it, are they all racist?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point. And I don't have the soundbite from it, but he is recognizing, now, I don't know that he's a Republican. I think he is. I'm not sure. But the thing he does point out that the Republicans have fallen short on is in their public relations regarding the things they're doing. Actually, I think everybody falls short on public relations.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, just from looking at how people sometimes get the word out about what they're trying to do, how they often will fall short of truly getting the message out that they represent. The Tea Party is not an actual political party, but those people who align themselves with that thinking have done a very, very poor job of trying to express what they're about. And then, of course, it doesn't help that you have people who are against their principles, painting them as in a way that they really aren't.
Yeah.
But still, the public relations, of course, they're not an organization, so it is kind of understandable that they don't have a good PR. They don't have any PR, really, But those Republicans who wanted to improve the viewpoint that the ethnic minorities have on them could have done a better job with trying to explain what they were trying to do and why they were trying to do it. But it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard when somebody is dangling, something sweet in front of you. Say, hey,
Oh yeah.
I know what they're trying to tell you. They're trying to tell you that this sweet deal here is really just laced with some kind of a toxic part of it.
Exactly.
But you don't want to be gullible either. You want to make sure that you can see the way it is. And the one red flag with the healthcare or with many of these, the one red flag is when they tell you We haven't read the whole thing. Or the one red flag is when they tell you, now Cliff Stearns, when he was a congressman, got in trouble, and I even asked him about this, got in trouble because he voted against an environmental bill. The guy doesn't want to see dirty water. The guy doesn't want to see dirty air. But he voted against it, not because of the intent of the title of the bill, and I can't remember which one it was, but because there were riders in it that had nothing to do with the bill.
Yeah, he read it.
And he read it. Exactly. And so he was criticized for not voting for it. And nobody even bothered to pay attention or put in their articles, in their newspaper articles, the real reason you voted against it. Same thing with today with this marijuana thing.
Yeah.
Same thing today. How many people are going to vote against it because they don't want it to be something that's done through an amendment, which may have nothing at all to do with how they feel about the intent of that thing?
Right.
How many people, and yet they won't. I've not seen it. I've heard it here. Our listeners teach us about this. You know. Anyway, I know we've got to go.
You bring up great points.
Well, I'm trying to do two things at once here. The music wasn't playing, so I got to start it. Okay. There it is. Oh, isn't that pretty? All right, we'll be right back. Fun topic with Galen when we come back. We're going to talk about the mail order brides. We'll be right back. This is WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. It's Election Day in America with many voters already making their choices.
We have to be at the polls. Bring your kids, bring your families, bring your neighbors. Get that cousin out the couch.
Republicans need to gain 6 seats to take control of the Senate.
Polls are showing Republican candidates do have the advantage in several key states. Beyond the Senate, all 435 seats in the House of Representatives are up for grabs.
Fox News' Kelly Wright, 36 governorships also at stake. The probe into last week's Virgin Galactic crash could take up to a year, but there's lots of test flight data to study.
We're now in the process of converting many of those data sources to forms that we can take back with us to continue our analysis of them.
Christopher Hart of the NTSB. Prosecutors are appealing the judge's acquittal of Oscar Pistorius of murder for shooting his girlfriend, convicting him of culpable homicide instead. Pistorius is serving 5 years in prison. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Fox News on your time. The Fox News iPad app is ready to go with all the great features from FoxNews.com and our iPhone app optimized specifically for your iPad. Watch the latest clips from your favorite Fox News shows. Personalize the app by creating your own newscast using the video playlist. Listen to Fox News Radio live. Get local weather forecasts. And it's all free. Go to foxnews2go.mobi. That's foxnews2go.mobi.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never tried are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services. When your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements, from damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Your home is safe, or is it? AA Lock, Dock, and Security. The name has been a staple in Ocala since 1985. Do you have the right equipment in place to have peace of mind when you are at home?